Hey guys, so this is just a little set of graphs I made to kind of chart transactional data. I used to keep a whole spreadsheet of pickups, how much you paid for a player off waivers on average, how many trades you made, a list of players that have been on your team. I used to keep a spreadsheet for that uh, up through last season, but it never really came out with any good data or anything super useful or interesting. So I didn't do it this year, but I still kind of like to look at numbers along these lines. So that's what this is. And I made three graphs. You can see the respective numbers in the columns. I also believe that you could hover over one of the bars and see the number if you wanted to. But I'm just going to talk about each of them real quick. It shouldn't even take the full 5 minutes. The first one here on the left is number of players used in a game. And you can take a lot of stories out of this and what it means, etc. But I think the only thing to note is that me, Bajam, and Nick Clark are the three highest. But we all have very different amounts of success so far this year. Bajam's 5-2, Nick is 3-4, and I'm 1-6. So the number of players used in a game, I think you could automatically think, oh well, if they're using a lot of people, they mustn't have like stud players that they can play in that position every week. But that's not necessarily the case. If you look at Bajam's team, he can't find a quarterback, so he's gone through a lot. But he's also gone through a lot of running backs because he has several good choices, and he plays the matchup with those. So it could just mean that you have a deep team. It could mean that you're searching for a solution somewhere. Or in Tony's case, it could mean that you just kind of ride with what you got no matter what. And that's why he's down at 18. Notice for Tony's, though, 18 looks like it's like 1/4 of my bar or Bajam's bar or whatever. But it's really not because it only starts at 14. So Tony's a lot closer than that looks. So pay attention to the scale. Total players rostered. I wish I could go back and find out if this is a record or not, but that would take me forever. I'm not even sure it's possible the way ESPN keeps the league histories. But 64 is a ton. We've never had this much trading. I always make a lot of pickups, but this year I think people are just having more different players on their roster than they normally would. I would much prefer to have great players and not have to touch my roster, kind of like Mike does here. He has a ridiculously low 29 players rostered. Nobody's that close to that. We have 33 from Tony, but that's for a very different reason. So that's impressive, and that leads to the next graph, number of players left from your draft. Ideally, this is going to be a high number, because if you draft good players, then you're more willing to keep them. You're not going to drop them or want to trade them necessarily. And it also means that you haven't had a season-ending injury that made you drop somebody too. So the higher the better, I think. A low number is not necessarily bad, because you could have traded good players for other good players, etc. But Mike's 14, I believe, people left from the draft. That's insane. The fact that he drafted so many good players late that he still has, or so many useful, anyway, not necessarily great players. That's really impressive. You can scroll down. I'll post the link in the comments, and take your own stories from these. They can mean different things to different people, and you can kind of draw your own conclusions. I'm not sure that I'll ever update this. It's kind of just like a halfway mark thing. And I got to put some colorful graphs on there, so hopefully you enjoyed the video.